Hello and welcome. I am going to talk a little bit today about something that we've often talked about before, but something that I think we can't let slip really. And it's that reminder of how our relationship with our body, whether we trust our body or not, whether we see that it's working as best it can in our favor, is at the forefront of that relationship. Because actually often I think, certainly for me in my eating disorder, for many people I speak to, we see our bodies as our enemies, or something that doesn't want to work for us, that has a different agenda to us. And so I'm back on today banging my drum about our bodies not having an agenda, because they don't. Our body's only agenda is to preserve life. It's not about how it looks. It's not about, how tall it is, how short it is. Our bodies are always working to continue to live and thrive in the best way they can. And I think we can't underestimate that. I know for sure in the midst of my eating disorder, I thought my body was my enemy. It was against me. It gained weight more easily than other people. And I felt that it just wanted to make a fool out of me. And I gave this whole personality to my body. Our bodies don't do that. Our bodies will strive. They will for sure strive to reach their set point. And if anybody listening wants me to revisit the idea of set point in the next video, I'm more than happy to do that. In fact, I may well do it anyway, just as a really helpful reminder for us all. So our bodies will strive to reach the set point, the place that they function best at. So if we overfeed them, they'll strive to come back down. If we underfeed, they'll strive to come back up. Now, they can only do that within limits, and they need our bodies need our help to do that with good nourishment, nutrition. But a short period of change in our nutrition, our bodies will adjust, adapt, and they'll come back to where they work best. If we think about our breathing, we adapt that without thinking about it, without having to actively change anything. If we're walking and being a bit more active, we'll breathe a bit deeper and a bit quicker to get more oxygen in. That's not because we think about needing more oxygen. It's because our bodies are naturally doing it all. The same with nourishment. If something goes wrong, and I am sure there will be a lot of people that listen to this and say, well, my body's not working in my favor. And if you are somebody who is struggling with a body that is unwell at the moment, that has a condition that means it doesn't work in the way that it used to, and you're having to adapt to a different life, then, I hear you. I really hear you. And I don't want this to be at all dismissive of that experience. But I guess what I'm saying is, even with those experiences, even with a body that's unwell, our bodies are still thriving. I've had this weird cold, chesty thing again this week, and I'm frustrated. I had it after Christmas. And I think, oh, really not again. But I'm able to also see this is not that my body is letting me down. In fact, these symptoms that I'm experiencing are my body fighting whatever bacterial or viral intruder came in. So my body's trying to preserve life. The symptoms come from, forgive me, if I've got a snotty nose, my body is producing mucus that I blow out and hopefully blow some of the bacteria or the virus away. So when we think about it from a slightly different angle, we can see that whilst our bodies are not always perfect, and they sometimes fail in the way they're working or in the way they respond to environments, they're doing their very best all of the time. Our bodies will always be our very best friend, trying, even if we treat it badly, it'll come back trying to be the best it can. And sometimes, me included, we can see when our bodies go wrong very easily, and we can focus on that. We can see when our body maybe doesn't look how we want it to look, or feel how we want it to feel. And we forget about the times where our bodies is just very quietly doing its thing to keep us alive. So have a think about what your body's done today. Have you had to think too much about breathing? Have you had to think about where you move your head so you can look around? Or is your body enabling you to do that? If you're tired and your body's saying to you, I need to rest, are you able to respond to that with love and compassion? Are you able to say, I hear you and I honor you? It's a hard thing to do and it takes time. But I think the beginning of that process is to see that our bodies are not our enemies, even though sometimes they go wrong, even though sometimes we feel unwell, even though sometimes we get diseases that we really don't want. Our bodies don't want them either, and they're doing their best to fight them off, but they will go wrong. But think about, okay, what does my body do for me? What's it doing day in, day out that preserves life, that preserves my experience of living in the way I can? So have a think about that relationship with your body. Do you see what it does and only criticize it? Do you see what it does and think it's let you down? Or are you able to maybe start seeing those little moments where it's given you a bit, even if that's something like, you know, it told me it was cold, I put a cardigan on and then I felt a bit warmer. Or I had a cup of coffee and I was able to enjoy the taste of that cup of coffee or cup of tea. What does your body do to you as well as what doesn't it do? Mine didn't let me get through this quick chat with you all without a cough. But yeah, think about the good and the bad. Think about the balance. Think about what it gives, not just what you imagine it takes. And think about that coalition. Is my body really my enemy? Is it really working against me? Or is it trying its best? But my mind has some thinking about my body and how it should be. Play about with those ideas this week. Take care. If your body's well and thriving, enjoy it. If your body's struggling, I send you my love, and I hope you can send your body your love and your compassion and your patience too. And I will see you next week. Bye bye.